Welcome to Wojo Media Success Interviews. Who I'm going to have on today is Tiffany Vaughn. She's a tax planner, tax strategist. She's been with us for about 2 months now, and she is going to give you her take on working with us and the wins that she's experienced. So let's let her in the room. What's going on, Tiffany? How you doing?
Hello, doing well. How are you?
Good, good. Just want to introduce yourself, what you do, how long you've been in the business, etc. That'd be awesome.
I'm Tiffany Vaughn, CPA and owner of Scent Savvy. I've been a licensed certified public accountant over 16 years. Started my firm about 9 years ago, and I specialize in tax resolution. I do a little bit of tax planning, obviously tax preparation, but my priority specialty is tax resolution. So helping taxpayers deal with back taxes, significant back taxes.
And like for the 16 years, how are you usually getting clients?
Well, I started my firm 9 years ago. So when I started my firm at first, it was word of mouth. So I was just kind of telling folks, this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is how you can get in touch with me. But about 4 years ago is when I kind of entered the landscape of consistent social media presence and Facebook ads. But at that time, what I was doing was more along the lines of Facebook ads, like lead ads. So, like just getting leads, building my email list. Not always necessarily the ideal client, but again, awareness, presence, and
Yeah.
hoping that it would
So
convert.
that was like
So
that was that like lead forms, lead magnets, stuff like that. That was like lower hanging fruit, basically.
yes, yep, I was doing Facebook lead forms, so getting everybody's information, putting it into my CRM. I was doing a lot of like free guides about like taxes, just general financial wellness, and that's really kind of where I was. That was my lane for several years until I met you.
Yeah, yeah. So like you're running lead forms and you're doing like free lead magnets. Was it going well, or like what were some things that you maybe did enjoy about that made you look for us?
Yeah, so in terms of, I guess, going well, yeah, I mean, I was able to build my lead list very quickly, and still do that. So, I mean, I was getting maybe, gosh, across all of my lines of service, probably 500 to 1,000 leads a month, which sounds amazing, and everybody would love that. The downside of it was everybody loves free, right? So I'm giving out a free lead magnet. Thanks, Tiff, for this free guide. And that was the end of it. So where I wasn't seeing a ton of conversion, was really the leads coming in, but not having a really good conversion rate and just saying, gosh, like I have like 10,000 plus leads on my email list. Like, why do I only have, I don't know, 400, 500 clients? Like it was just very, very low. So I was like, okay, we got to change something here. I'm not reaching my ideal audience. I'm reaching folks who window shop but saw a free sample.
Yeah,
So
no, of course. It's tough because you give it without expectation, right? Well,
yeah,
actually, well, you give it with the expectation that they're going to come back and like ask you for a service, but then
right.
everyone teaches you, oh, well, give it out expectation, like they'll come to you at some point. And it's just tough
Hmm.
for people who open it for free. And it's just like
Yeah.
the PDF that also sits in their inbox. Most people don't open it. So it's just tough.
Mhm.
So now
Yeah.
you're on like a low ticket funnel with us. So,
Yes.
okay. So before I get into the low ticket funnel piece, have you worked with other marketers before? Like, were you in the agent? Like, did you work with other agencies or you ran most of this ads on your own?
So all of the ads have been run on my own. So I have taken like courses and trainings in
Mhm.
regards to like this is how you do it, this is how you set up Facebook ads. But I didn't really have anyone specifically significantly running ads for me. It's always been me. I've done a lot of other like just trainings in terms of like high ticket sales and things like that, but
Yeah.
specific to ads, it's me, myself, and I.
Okay. And like as you were growing your business, because you're running lead ads, also you're getting word of mouth, like you're a good word of mouth business. So as you're doing
Hmm.
that, running ads on your own, it just kind of came to a point for you where it was just bottlenecking, it wasn't worth your time. Like what? Because there's business owners
Yeah.
out there who assume that they can do it themselves. So like
Yes.
what do you say to that?
Yeah. So I just like I tell my clients in the tax space, like just because it can be done doesn't mean it should be done, right? And especially when you get to a place of, all right, I've got kind of a solid foundation of clients. Like I want to direct more of my time to not only just the clients that I'm converting, but also brand awareness. I want to move that off of my plate, right? Like I'm a CPA, right? I am not and maybe I need to think of myself this way, but like digital marketing and like in the, details of like running ads and the analytics of all of that, like stay in my lane. So I wanted when I got to a place of okay, I don't have to do this anymore on my own, right? As entrepreneurship, you grow, I don't have to.
Mhm.
That's really when I started looking for someone with the expertise to take that over.
Okay. So did you find out about us through the school group, or was it because I have multiple funnels where people come
Yes.
in. So yeah.
Yeah, so I found out about you, I want to say through YouTube. So, and this was
Okay.
probably a year ago.
A
Yeah, so
year
I
ago?
was
Wow.
a
Okay.
year ago. Yes. So, I started watching your videos on paid ads, and the what sparked my interest was not just running paid ads, but that self-liquidating methodology of
Okay.
like, listen, I'm spending the money on ads, but hey, if you get into this kind of low ticket funnel situation,
Mhm.
you're going to get that money back. So it's like you're basically getting leads for free. And at that point, I was like, well, I'm paying for these leads. Yeah, I'm getting leads. I'm not getting them necessarily for free or making a profit off of running ads. So
Yeah.
that's when I got introduced to you and then started following you on all the social media platforms, and then bought your low ticket
Starter
training.
kit. Yeah, it was
So
like it was like
yeah,
the low ticket starter. That was one of my best like digital products that I ran. It was definitely good to activate everybody and like, yeah. I
yeah,
mean, I was proving the concept to people that low ticket was this thing that if you spend $100 a day, and even if you got 70 back, 60 back, you're getting the
yeah.
same reach for $40 then. So it's like,
Exactly. And that's where my head was. Yeah, I
yeah,
was like, oh, well, gosh, even if I can get a little bit of that back, I'm saving.
yeah,
But yeah, it worked really, really well. So I implemented I implemented that and I'm like, gosh, like no, I'm earning money by running ads. So that's kind of and that really kind of took off later this past year. So maybe I want to say like November, December,
Mhm.
is when I, number one, said, okay, I'm going to try this specifically with tax resolution, because I wanted to kind of shift my company to really focus in on that. So started running those ads from that low ticket training and did really, really well. And then saw the school community in January of this year. So then I joined there and was just saying, like, guys, this works. I am a testament to this. But at some point, I'm going to need to move this off because I was learning more around. Yes, I'm running the low ticket, but there's so many ways to like scale that. And
Yeah.
that's where I'm like, oh, I'm out. I'm out. I need Jason. I'm out.
So you've been with us for like 2.5 months, I think. You came in January, like in the middle of January, I believe.
No, it's been like only 6 weeks.
Six.
So yeah,
Well,
it's only been like
technically,
7 weeks.
6 weeks is the beginning of February. So around the end of January, give or take.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So, all right. So
Yep.
6 weeks, and we offloaded, well, you offloaded the low ticket funnel to us. And I just want to get like
Hmm.
some context on some of the results that you've gotten with us. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
ran this low ticket funnel for about 6 weeks. How many clients have you
Yeah.
closed in 6 weeks? How much cash is that worth? Just so I can get kind of
Hmm.
context.
Yeah. So there's kind of two pieces to that. So in the low ticket sales, I was doing like a low ticket, like DIY tax resolution kit, running it around $10. We've been kind of testing a little bit of the price, but it looks like the price point for that is around 10. So in the last 6 weeks, I've earned like $4,500 on the low ticket
Okay.
portion. But
Okay.
of course, that's just the kind of gateway to get them into my higher ticket
Yeah.
professional tax resolution service. And for that, I've earned in the last 6 weeks about 16,000.
Okay. So it's
So
about 20K.
about 20K, yeah, in the
Okay.
last six
So
weeks.
are that 16K, are those clients who are paying monthly, or are those people who are just paying one time?
So it is a one-time service, but what will happen now is that once I do that service, they typically become my tax preparation client. So that's just straight fees for resolution. But I'd say about 50% of them have asked me to do tax preparation work,
Okay.
which is kind of a byproduct of that. So if we were to add in that piece of it, we're at like, oh gosh, like $30,000,
Okay.
$35,000.
And then looking at like the ad spend, you've been with us for six
Mm-hmm.
weeks. I believe you've already gotten a return on what you spent already on the service.
100%. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
at like only 10,000 spend on
Okay.
the over the
Sick.
last weeks.
So like for people who are in your space, like you're obviously growing, like you're very successful in your niche, which is great. I love it. What would you say to people in your niche of all the things that are being thrown to them versus like they can go book a call funnel, they can go lead mag, they can go low ticket. After running all these, like which one do you really think is the best?
Of course, if my goal is to again self-liquidate or be in a position where I'm getting leads for free, absolutely running low ticket makes sense, right? Especially as my start. Like if I have never done this before, like that is my entrance into the, into paid ads. I once you kind of get that going, I would say, scale, right? Like branch out. So one of the things I'm working with your team is a school community, right? So like creating a community around those who need help in tax resolution and really me becoming kind of present to them in terms of like knowing who I am because this industry is very people are very skeptical, right? Like, oh, taxes and they're very skittish too around like who am I working with? So having a school community so they can see me weekly and I'm answering questions and they get to know about me and like, oh, okay, Tiff, she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah. And like that's kind of the way that for years ago it was YouTube, Facebook, Instagram for people to get introduced. Now they can join a free school group and get warmed up.
Yeah.
But like that's what we use all these different facets to build a good ecosystem. And the ecosystem is one
Right.
of the most
Right. Right.
important pieces because people assume that it's one product, one niche, one application. And it's like, okay, well now we're
No.
too unidimensional. You have YouTube, you have school, you have low ticket, you have lead magnets. Like
Right.
those things are still important because building a list is really important. And I think
Yeah.
that with the email side, like your activation on low ticket is a lot easier than a lead magnet, obviously, because they spent money. They swipe
Mhm.
their credit card.
Right.
So the question I have for you
Right.
was all these buyers who have came through, what have you
Hmm.
seen from, the obviously book calls, you're getting book calls from it, but what are your show
Hmm.
rates now on low ticket? Like if you had 10 calls, how many of them actually show up?
Like nine.
Yeah.
So it's that too is a big win. And not just people showing up, but like the right people showing up, like the right people getting on my calendar and understanding, all right, this is Tiffany's service and like not being like shocked at what, how much, the fees and all of this stuff has been amazing because it was hit or miss before. It was okay, people aren't showing up or they do show up and they just are completely out of touch with what I'm doing and the services and the fees associated around that. So that has been like I must say like every call that I'm getting on like even within the last week maybe just like one no show of like 15, 16, calls.
What's your goal by the end of the year with us and
Yes. So
just
my
your
goal,
business in
yes.
general?
Yeah. So my goal is to transition or wind down more of being kind of the tax preparation professional and moving into tax resolution. So that was another reason why I wanted to have experts come in and help me with that because this is still new. I've been doing specifically tax resolution for about 7 months. So I want to really move to being the subject matter expert in tax resolution. So my goal by the end of the year is to consistently be bringing in about 20 to 40 clients per month is my goal. So by the end of the year, that's where I want to be is 20 to 40 clients coming into tax resolution per month.
How many clients are you currently getting a week right now? Like one to two?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, you want to get
Yep.
to 25, so that's going to be eight. Basically, where we have to look at is how we're going to keep the self-liquidation as stable as
Hmm.
possible, but we
Hmm.
simply just have to 3x the spend. So 3x the
Yes.
front end spend while having like, some better email marketing and SMS and whatnot to lead nurture them, but your show rates are already really, really great. So that's fine. And the question I always like to ask at the end, because let's be real, like this space is kind of like my space at least is like very bombarded with people who like will give certain claims or X, Y, and Z. I don't want
Mm,
this to be more results driven, but like what
mm,
do you think is already great about the team? Because people love to come into our ecosystem and they think that they're always
mm,
going to get me because I'm the face.
mm,
But like what
mm.
would you say about the team that you're currently working with? Like what do you like about it the most?
I like the collaboration and
Mhm.
I like being able to bounce an idea off of the team or get their perspective on, hey, you're a go high level expert. How can we have this happen? Or looking at my current funnel, right? Because when we came in, I had a funnel, it was very basic.
Mhm.
But just looking at that and saying, okay, how can I make this better? And having the team, they are saying, okay, we need to do upsells, downsells. And I remember in the training, I'm like, ooh, that sounds above my, that's over my head. So like teaching me about that and saying like, this is how you even on the low ticket can get the average order value up. Right, like to have an upsell and then a downsell before they even speak to you. So just that collaboration and then just the sharing of ideas around things again that aren't kind of in my wheelhouse, but will help me scale and grow. So they've been amazing.
And yeah, I mean, I appreciate you coming on here and
Yeah,
speaking with me. It's been a pleasure working with you. Where can they find out more
likewise.
about you and your services if they want to contact you and get tax resolution help?
Yes. So my website or my company's name is Sense Savvy, spelled like dollars and cents. I can be reached at www.sensesavvy.com. You can Google me. I'm also on all the social media platforms under Sense Savvy, one word.
Well, thanks, Tiffany, for being a part of the interviews and congrats on the continued success.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm super appreciative of everything you and your team have done. So thank you.